Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each week to bring you tasteful content,
but viewer discretion is advised.
Now enjoy the show.
We begin this week by looking back at some of our favorite bird adventures like Eagle Fest, Scoters and Seals, and the Ward Championships.
We'll head to Milford to see how DNREC is creating new ways to track kestrels.
Scorchy Taws takes us to a great blue heron haven on Bloodsworth Island.
We'll take a walk through the Nanticoke River Wildlife Management Area with Delmarva Birding Weekends.
And we'll stock up on all of our birding needs at My Backyard in Ocean Pines.
Outdoors Delmarva starts right now.
Welcome to Outdoors Delmarva, the show that celebrates our communities, our cultures and traditions, and the places we call home. My name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch.
Lauren, Independence Day is quickly approaching, and I can't wait to celebrate freedom.
Oh, that's right. I'm so excited for the 4th of July.
No, I'm talking about the first day of my vacation.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here are Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
You hear it all the time, stop and smell the roses, but I've found that stopping and watching the birds is a lot more enjoyable and a lot less taxing on the old allergies.
So we begin by looking back at a few of our favorite bird adventures this year with our Outdoors Delmarva Birding Special.
You're here today to celebrate birds of prey and in particular bald eagles. This refuge was established in 1933. Long ago, the eagle population was very low. Back in the 60s and in the 70s, there was only about 500 nesting pairs of bald eagles in the lower 48. And now we're up to somewhere around over 300,000 individual bald eagles. So we like to celebrate bald eagles here on the National Wildlife Refuge. It's also our national symbol. And this is the time of year when they come to this area to nest. They usually show up somewhere around Christmas, December-ish, January. They nest, and then this time of year the young start hatching out and they get ready to fledge, and then they kind of head back to their northern and southern areas. But as far as populations go, the Chesapeake Bay region has one of the highest concentrations east of the Mississippi.
So my name is Jim Rapp. We've got a pretty full boat today, as you can see, which is great. I'll introduce, and you'll see them on the boat over there. We've got 6 guides on the boat today. We'll be looking and spotting birds up close in the sky, a mile away. We'll do our best to keep track of all of it, including the seals.
Very much a part of the Delmarva tradition. It goes back through the heritage of Delmarva, and it's almost as long as I've been alive we've had this show. And it brings people in from around the world, so it brings people to Delmarva. It's just an amazing thing.
Lauren, that was an excellent way to kick off our bird special.
I think so. Are we going to check out what DNREC is doing to help track kestrels next?
You know what? I think that's a great idea. Wow, you are really soaring to new heights this week.
Oh gosh, I knew the bird puns were coming.
Well, yeah, you silly goose. I would be a raven lunatic if I didn't. It would be a cardinal sin if I...
Outdoors Delmarva Birding Special. We'll be right back after these messages.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This is the Outdoors Delmarva Bird Special.
And our friends at DNREC told us about a new way they're tracking kestrels.
little bit about this huge tower going up behind us.
Yes, so it's not quite in its completion, but it's come a long way since yesterday. So this started as just empty ground. Currently what we have is just a standard tower, which you can use for a lot of different things, but what we're going to use it for is a MODIS station. So we have a bunch of antennae that are actually going to go right up on the top, and those antennae are going to be sending out radio signals so that they can detect the backpacks that our kestrels will be wearing. And then that way we know where the kestrels are within this about 15-kilometer radius.
Now, how does the kestrel get a backpack on it?
Great question. So we do have to actually physically trap the kestrels. We started with banding them and then taking measurements, feather and blood samples,
all the
weights,
information,
things like that. Yeah. But that wasn't quite enough for us to answer all of our questions. So once we trap them this year, we'll be placing a small, what is called a nano tag. So it's a little black device with a small antenna on the back. It'll go in between the shoulder blades of the kestrel, and then it will wrap around the wings and kind of sit in the front. So it's like a little backpack that they carry around.
And now, tell us a little bit about the kestrel.
Of course. So it is the smallest falcon in North America, about the size of a mourning dove. They are very colorful, the male and female. The males have slate blue wings and a cap with a black tail with a white band on the end. And the females are all brown and feature like a black checkered marks, some streaks on the front. Beautiful birds, kind of remind me a little bit of like fierce parakeets. We want to know where our kestrels are going. So are they migrating from here? Are they surviving? So are they coming back from that migration? And then also, you know, within habitats, what areas they're using, and if they don't come back the next year to this breeding area, what breeding area are they going to? We started this project to kind of understand more about kestrels, specifically in Delaware, but also this region. We are looking for answers as to why the species is declining, rather than you know, having a comeback like other birds of prey species have seen in recent history. So the next two towers will be at Little Creek, on our wildlife area at our hunter safety building. And then another will be going in Port Penn at Augustine Wildlife Area. And then we have another 5 to 7 towers that will be going up within the next few years. And our goal is to completely saturate the state with these towers so that there's never a bird that flies in the state without us knowing about it.
Lauren, that's a pretty fantastic program that DNREC is implementing.
It is, and they have many more ways for you to get involved. Just go to denrec.delaware.gov and search American Kestrel.
We're going to duck out real quick, but the Outdoors Delmarva Bird Special returns right after these messages.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This is the Outdoors Delmarva Birding Special.
And we're off to Bloodsworth Island to check out a great blue heron habitat in this week's Remembering Scorchy Taws.
Honoring the life and legacy of Scorchy Taws. Thanks to Shorts Marine in Long Neck, Delaware. Shorts Marine, everything but the water.
Thanks to the thoughtfulness and caring of the U.S. Navy, there's a great blue heron heaven in the Chesapeake. We visited Bloodsworth Island recently in the company of Gary Taylor, Doug Houghton, and Bradley Eby of the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. We were there to meet Larry Adams, Natural Resources Manager of the Patuxent River, and his biologist, Kyle Rambo. At precisely 9:30 a.m., courtesy of the U.S. Navy, they dropped in. Our purpose was to check the successful man-made great blue heron nesting structures erected by Larry's group in late 1983.
You will see later on that there's not much habitat here for them to develop their nest on. And so we are really fulfilling a requirement here for them to live.
We hiked to the nesting structures through soggy marsh and bramble, all the while under siege by fierce greenhead flies. We found that 6 of the original 17 structures had survived. Some had succumbed to wintry gale force winds, others to vandals. 59 nests had been built on the remaining structures, producing 177 young. As we watched, one of the youngsters took its very first flight. In 1983, the Bloodsworth Island heronry was assured long-term protection from shelling when the Navy agreed to set aside the northern port as a refuge. Larry Adams is pleased.
I tell you what, it's like a pearly gates to me because we've received a lot of compliments, my office and Department of the Navy, because this is something that's really successful, and see that the Department of Defense is concerned about the environment and also the habitat.
Scorchy Taws, one in our Delmarvelous land, for WBOC News.
Remembering Scorchy Taws is presented by Shorts Marine, online at shortsmarine.com.
Did you know that despite their massive size, great blue herons only weigh about 5 to 6 pounds?
Did you know that great blues have excellent night vision, which makes them as good at night hunting as during the day?
And did you know that even though great blue herons are primarily fish eaters, they have been known to eat amphibians, reptiles, small mammals, and basically anything they can swallow?
Now you do.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Now we're going to check out a few of our favorite bird-centered viewer photos right now.
Thanks to our friends at North Bay Marina.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by North Bay Marina. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back. You're watching Outdoors Delmarva presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
As we continue with the Outdoors Delmarva Bird Special, we head out with Delmarva Birding Weekends.
And even though we were looking for quail, birds of all shapes, sizes, and songs were there to greet us.
It's a very exciting field trip today to the Nanticoke River Wildlife Management Area, Nutter's Neck. I'm Jim Rapp with Delmarva Birding Weekends. I'm the one who sent you the emails.
The area is within what we call the Quantico Creek Rural Legacy Area. So we're a land trust, and a lot of what we do is protect land. From development, we work with landowners to do conservation easements to protect land within certain areas. Rural Legacy Area has dedicated funds that we apply for and do conservation easements. So this is a state facility, but that farm right there is protected by a conservation easement that we did not long ago. So there's only going to ever be one house on that lot. The property was purchased like in the 80s, I believe. And over time, we've kind of refined our management of this property. It used to just be crop fields like every other farm on the Eastern Shore, right? So you just had large fields, there were some ditches and hedgerows, and then just a large block of woods. We started, we ramped up in I'd say the 2000 and the early 2000s, where we started to do some habitat work to try to bring back these species. Mainly bobwhite quail, but then the whole host of songbirds that hopefully you'll see that depend on this kind of habitat, this grassland and shrubland habitat.
I was hired on with Lower Shore Land Trust about 3 years ago. Specialized it as an ag outreach to try to encourage more farmers within our region of the 3 counties to maybe make some alterations in how they farm. And mainly being kind of just backtracking on what Bob said. So just straight up crop rotation, clearing ditches, having no hedges, to bringing back some layers, because quail really like the layered effect. And I've learned so much working with Bob. The first time I came out here was like 3 years ago. So yeah, I think we're gonna let it speak for itself.
You can join in on one of the many Delmarva Birding Weekends adventures by checking out delmarvabirding.com for more details.
The Outdoors Delmarva Bird Special heads to Ocean Pines right after this.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here are Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
If you're looking to attract a new flock of feathered friends to your backyard, well, you'll want to take a trip out to my backyard.
Why would anyone want to go to your backyard?
Not my backyard. My backyard in Ocean Pines.
Oh, when did you buy a house in the Pines?
Oh my gosh. You hatched early, didn't you? Here in Ocean Pines at my backyard. Not my backyard.
No, my backyard.
Your backyard.
My backyard.
Maureen, this is part of our birding special, and you specialize in birds. Tell us a little bit about my backyard.
Well, my backyard was started 6.5 years ago out of just a want to be outside and to enjoy nature. I am not an expert by any means, but I am a backyard birder. So it is fun to buy all the things that people need for their backyards, and it's great for the novices that I can help.
Now, I'm a novice, okay? I do find myself looking at more and more birds, trying to identify them.
Mm-hmm.
How would you help me enrich my birding life?
Well, I'd first want to know what kind of birds you are interested in, and then we would start with what kind of feeder you might use to attract them. I would also encourage you to get an app that will tell you what they sound like, so you can identify them that way, or what they look like. We have some books that'll help you identify them, and I have lots of little brochures that you could take to help. So I have a lot of feeders, a lot of different kinds that you could choose from. There's certain feeders for certain birds, certain bird food for certain birds, which I can certainly help with. So it just depends. Like if you want cardinals are mostly ground feeders, but they do like to feed on a flat surface. Then again, if you want hummingbirds, then I'll tell you how to make the nectar and how to attract them that way. So there's a lot of different things.
Another creature that loves all the bird feed, and that would be the squirrels.
Yes.
Yeah. How do we keep those from taking all that we're purchasing?
Okay, well first I want to tell you that there is no such thing as a squirrel-proof feeder. Squirrel-resistant, yes, but squirrel-proof, no. So your best bet is a good baffle. You have to outsmart the squirrels. And that's not an easy task sometimes, because they're very smart.
Real quick, what are your hours of operation?
Okay, I am closed Sunday and Monday. I'm open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5.
Okay, 10 to 5. So come on down and get all your birding supplies here at my backyard, and make sure you come by and see Maureen. She's going to make sure that you get everything that you need to make your backyard sing like hers.
Thank you.
Stop by and see Maureen at the store, or check out the website gotomybackyard.com and enjoy all that backyard birding has to offer.
Before we say goodbye, we wanted to remind you that we'd love to see your summertime fun. Just submit your photo by going to outdoorsdelmarva.com or scan the QR code in the bottom corner of your screen.
We hope that you have enjoyed our bird special, and we hope to see you right back here again next week. But until then, my name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch, and we hope to see you Outdoors Delmarva.
Outdoors Delmarva, a Draper Media production, is presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Shorts Marine and Bell Creek Equipment.